Yeah, actually, no, I heard about that. T-Bates on the GOAT. So wasn't the whole thing that T-Bates thinks Garrett G is the GOAT of Rocket League? And he thinks people put too much stock into championships, right? And I think weren't Dazarin and Roldays, they were completely on Turbo, right? So yeah, Dazarin and Roldays both think Turbo's the GOAT. I think most of the Rocket League community think Turbo's the GOAT. And T-Bates thinks Garrett's the GOAT. And his reasoning was that Turbo wasn't the best player on any of the World Championship winning teams that he's played on. I actually looked this up before. I've looked this up in the past myself. I might as well just show you guys. So if you go to Octane GG, all of this is still on there. Like all the old events. Let me just show you what I mean. I'll pull it up for you guys. Right, Octane GG. Let's see how much truth there was to T-Bates' point. Completed. So if you go to events, then you click on completed, then you click on tiers, S tier, regions, international, then that will only show RLCS events. And like stuff like E-League is considered S tier as well because it was the exact same teams that just played in the World Championship right before it, and similar prize pool. In fact, exact same prize pool. If you look at Season 4 and E-League 1, same prize pool. I think same teams, just to have a look. So there's the teams for the World Championship Season 4. And E-League had the top 8. It didn't have Pale Horse, or I think NRG missed that one as well because NRG got eliminated in Season 4. So E-League was essentially, it was top 8 from Worlds, same prize pool. That's why it's considered S tier. It's the only event that's considered S tier outside of RLCS lands. Not even RLCS Season 9 online is considered S tier in this list. But yeah, E-League 2018, same thing. Season 6 top 8. So there's Season 6. Tainted Minds and I think PSG were eliminated first. Oh no, not PSG. Who was it who was eliminated first? Was it? It wasn't, no. It wasn't NRG that time. Oh, it was both of the OCE teams. Oh no, it wasn't. I'm wrong again. Season 6 Chiefs came 4th. What am I talking about? It was G2. For a second there I was getting Season 6 and 7 mixed up. But yeah, Season 6 G2 and Tainted Minds got eliminated, so they didn't play E-League. Anyway, that's not why we opened up Octane GG. The reason we did this is to look at all of Turbo Pulse's World Championship wins and to compare them to other players who have won Worlds. So he won Season 3, 4, 5. And then we've got, well, K-Dop won number 7, so we'll look at number 7 as well. Number 8 was won by Garrett and Turbo. So the 3 players that everybody thinks are the top 3 greatest of all time are Garrett, K-Dop, and Turbo. I don't think anyone would argue with that. There's no one close at the moment. So if we go to stats for all 3 of these events, I'll just load up the stats on every tab. What we can do is we can change this to best of 7 as well. So we're only gonna look at the stats in best of 7s because those are the final few matches of these events. For Season 3, best of 7 only shows the upper final, loser final, winners final. For Season 4, exact same thing. Upper final, lower final, winner final. Upper final, lower final, grand final, I should say, for both of these. Season 5, same thing. Uppers, lowers, grand finals, same format for all 3. Now, of course, Season 7 had the group stage, and it was only best of 7 from quarterfinals. No, sorry, from semi-finals onwards. The quarterfinals were best of 5. That's why it's not listed here. So what you're seeing here is the G2 Vitality grand final plus their semi-final victories over Rogue and Cloud9. And then for the most recent RLCS World Championship LAN, this actually shows a fair bit more. This shows the PK series that they lost. It also shows the Veloce series that they lost. Then it shows the lower final between I think we've got a whole bunch in here. We've got upper final NRG Vitality. We've got the grand final NRG Vitality. Let me just pull it up so we can see in detail all of the rounds that are being shown here. I'll just open up the Wikipedia page because I've got I've got that handy as well. Here it is. So yeah, playoffs in Season 8 where quarterfinal. This is kind of like they're both sort of lower brackets because well, General NRG and I'm calling them they're actually called the General here, but they General NRG this entire time. I thought that was more recent. Let me just expand this slightly. They weren't, so it just goes back in time and shows the General. We had NRG and Dignitas were the two teams who had byes because Vitality had already played in Group A against NRG. They lost 3-2 in the group stage. Very, very close series. 3 overtimes and 1 goal game in grand final. Dignitas were able to win their group. And then Vitality and Space Station came out of quarterfinals. Space Station lost, of course, to NRG pretty comfortably. But Vitality Dig and NRG, they were the clear 3 best teams of this event, and they got that rematch in the final overtime. So yeah, essentially Season 3, 4, 5, there's just 3 series on show here. Well, actually Season 5, since we had a bracket reset, there's 4, and I think we also had a bracket reset Season 3, so there's 4 here. 4 series, 3 series, 4 series. This is 4 series. No, this is 3 series, just 2 semis and a final. And this is 5 series. So, pretty cool. T-Base's argument was that Turbo and Galeforce Dig dominated for 2 years, and other teams have done that, but because of COVID, it doesn't seem like that great of an achievement. But okay, part of the reason why T-Base doesn't like calling Turbo the GOAT is because he wasn't the best player on any of the teams that he won Worlds with. And if you look at the playoffs in Season 3, that's definitely what looks to be the case from rating and score per game. And anyone with an eye for good Rocket League will tell you Devo is the best player at this event by a mile. So he's right there. Turbo is not the best player in his team Season 3. And yeah, he was also beaten statistically by Remco, but not by much. That's very close. Season 4, Turbo and K-Dot. Well, K-Dot was statistically by far the best. He got MVP of this event, if I'm not mistaken. And I would definitely think K-Dot, for most people, was the best player on this team. At the start, statistically the highest. But look at Squishy in that lower final loss with a 1.56. I don't think many people talk about this one. This is where the series that he scored the goal of the tournament. The ceiling shot mind game against Method, but they ended up losing that series. Yeah, K-Dot pipping Turbo in that one statistically. Season 5, Panda was actually the top statistically, at least when it comes to rating. But I think in points per game, score per game, K-Dot actually beat him. And it's very close. Panda, K-Dot, extremely close. Turbo also, pretty close. Score per game, they're almost the same. These aren't stats that you can absolutely draw a line and say, there's the best player because he has the best score. But, you know, if we're being objective, we have to look at statistics. So yeah, kind of so far so good. 3 events, and Turbo hasn't been the best performer in his team in any of them. And then, of course, we have Season 8, when NRG won with Turbo and Garrett on the team. If we sort this by rating, Justin is by far the highest. But actually, Turbo Pulsar comes out quite near the top as well, ahead of Garrett G by a fair margin. So, if T-Bate's argument is that Garrett is the GOAT because Turbo wasn't the best player in his team in any World Championships, that kind of falls apart when Garrett wasn't the best player in his team in the only World Championship that he's won. So maybe not the strongest argument after all. I mean, only half. Well, it is true in Turbo's case, but it's also, kind of disproving itself here. Yeah, Garrett does have higher score, so it just depends which stat do you prefer, I guess. But they're both kind of. I mean, I prefer, if I'm really going into GOAT category, to not really use that at all. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, they were talking mostly about Garrett and Turbo, right? I think. with GOAT debate. He said that Justin is just as arguable for GOAT spot. Oh, Justin as well. I think Justin might be top 5, and there's a decent chance that Fairy Peak rounds out the top 5 because he's actually been in 3 RLCS LAN Grand Finals. Although he lost 2 of them, I mean, he still made Grand Final in 3 different rosters. Sorry, two different rosters. One of them was a repeat. And in both of Fairy Peak's RLCS Grand Final losses, they lost in Game 7. So he was pretty close. But Garrett, K-Dop, Justin, Turbo. I think if you're going to put Justin in there, I think you have to put Fairy Peak in there as well. Have to put Fairy Peak in there. He's definitely an all-time great. I think, everybody's going to have a different version on this. I think it's either Turbo or K-Dot, personally, as the all-time great. Because, they do have the best records at RLCS. And K-Dot might be I think the best argument compared to Turbo. Everybody says, well, four World Championships, Turbo's the GOAT. But K-Dop actually made so many consecutive Grand Finals. Didn't he make Grand Final like 6 in a row? He made Grand Final in Season 3, lost it to Turbo, worth mentioning. Then he won Season 4, won Season 5, made Grand Final Season 6, won Season 7, lost Season 8 to Turbo. So K-Dop is actually in 6 Grand Finals in a row. Turbo made 5 of those Grand Finals, and he did win 4 of them. So K-Dop actually, he's 50% win rate in Grand Finals, and some people say, well, that's just proof that he's not as good because he loses the Grand Finals. But I don't know. I think K-Dop, definitely the best argument of being GOAT compared to Turbo. He also has a lot more success online compared to Turbo. K-Dop won... How many? I think he won Season 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. He won 5 EU regionals in a row. Lost Season 8 to PSG, or Reciprocity. Then he lost Season 9 to Dignitas, but then he won the RLCS Season X. So, K-Dop has actually 6 online regional victories. How many does Turbo have? Turbo didn't actually play in Season 3. He won Season 4 and 5 with K-Dop. Then he won Season 6, I think, with K-Dop. So he won 3 in a row. Didn't win Season 7. Didn't even make World Season 7. I think he might have won regionally Season 8. And then didn't win 9 or Season X. That was G2 and then NRG without Turbo. So, it's 6-4 in K-Dop's favor online. So I think, yeah, for me, K-Dop, Turbo, definitely the top 2. Garrett, number 3. And then rounding out the 5. I've not really thought about the order, but probably Fairy Peak and Justin. And then other players that you have to think about for top 10. You're going to need to think about, do you put Scrub in there? He's only been around for a while, but it just depends, I guess, how much the intangible of his age preventing him from playing when he might have been a top tier player comes into question. Violent Panda, of course. Squishy, of course. Maybe Devo, because he's got some longevity. He did win a regional in Season X, which isn't, anywhere near a Worlds, but shows definitely that he's got some longevity there. And yeah, having a player who's definitely been the best player in the world at some point is helpful. Devo was the best player in the world in Season 3. Cuxer, probably the best player in the world Season 1 too, also has a shout of being in a top 10 all time. Because after that the list of names definitely falls off a little bit. And yeah, although they've only just started with LANs, Monkey Moon, gotta be getting close. Very, very close. Maybe even already in the top 10 all time. Again, very, very subjective because of how COVID has affected things.